Hey, it's me, Demented Ghastly, with another Total Drama video. What's up? Anyway, so today we are going to be doing... Yeah, the music's staying. Sorry, I vibe with this. I F with this heavy, yo. Anyway, What? 5 hours of spooky video game Halloween music. I was not expecting that. Anyway, so here are the teams for this Halloween special. Woo, happy Halloween. This is probably gonna be posted on the 30th. Woo, spooky. Here are our teams. We have Team Zombies, which includes Ezekiel, Tyler, Brick, Sean, Bowie, Dwayne Sr., Benji, Heather, Sadie, Bridget, and Maria, Sky, MK, Ashley, and Isabel. On Team Vampires, which, by the way, Team Zombies was named by Sean, obviously. Team Vampires was named by Gwen, and it includes Cody, Trent, Scott, Dave, Wayne, sorry. This is really throwing me off. Jake, Aiden, Lindsay, Gwen, Zoe, Sammy, bro, why did I choose this? Axel. Okay. Oh, this is so good. So we have, the person who's not MacArthur. Yeah, she's not going very far. Oh, I'm gonna tell you that. I don't remember her name. Sanders. Rhea, Tristan, and then for Team Pinhead, named by, Harold, without having the social awareness to, name the team like a horror trope character, and instead naming it after a horror movie character, specifically, pisses off his entire team. But, you know, he'll probably do pretty well in the challenges, so we'll have that. Team Pinhead includes Harold, Alejandro, Lightning, Topher, Damien, Tom, Yule, Logan, Lashana, Joe, Amy, Millie, Ellie, Tess, and we also have Amelie. And so those are the 3 teams. So all of these characters were all brought to the island by Chris McLean, who had just previously watched Island of the Slaughtered AU stuff, which does exist in this universe. And Chris said to himself, hey, people kind of got a kick out of that. So I'm going to make a real Island of the Slaughtered. After Chef told him that was a horrible idea, he decided to tone it down a little bit, and invited everyone for a little costume contest. Invite Disventure Camp characters too. Because why not? And so he brought all these to the old set, where we start with Alien Resurrection. Now let's get this going, baby. And let's also get these views going, because, God, I'm really not doing well with views. Anyway. Halloween spooky haircut. I don't have anything changed about my features. But, essentially, all of these are either horror-themed episodes or the closest I could find to horror-themed episodes from both Total Drama and Disventure Camp. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get started. The alien resurrection has 3 eliminations for the people who get hit first. So as you can see, this is a lot of characters for something that the merge is only up to here. And you may be wondering, how is he going to do this? Well, we have a little bit of a rule. For all the team matches, 2 people get eliminated from the 2 losing teams. Or 1 person gets eliminated from each losing team. And after merge, we have 2 people eliminated, and in a way that makes it very scary. The first person gets eliminated strictly due to losing the challenge first, and the second person gets voted off. That means people who get hit first by some sort of, I don't know, scary thing, they're gone. They're outie. Eliminated. Bye-bye. So, it makes it even scarier for the viewers who want to see their favorite character go farther, because at any time, they could become the first victim. Well, who will be the final girl? Or final boy? Or final they-them? We have Tristan in here. Let's find out. Alien Resurrection. The first person to get shot by Chef is Ezekiel, claiming the card of first kill. Ezekiel becomes the first eliminated contestant. Camp Wiki. Okay, just bring up the Total Drama and Disventure Camp Wikis in case I forget something. The second person to get shot here is Sammy, who is pushed in front of the bullet by Amy. And then, as they all start to make it to the finish line, 1 person is left behind. That person being Millie. Millie is next eliminated. Now that we've made it past the portion for instant eliminations, let's get on to the real stuff. Moon Madness takes place back on the island where a full blue moon is happening. There's a huge moon in the sky. Someone is mooning us so hard. It do be shaking, it do be jiggling. Anyway, so everybody has to make it to 1 point of the island, and the first team to make it is going to be a team that does well in the forest. And that is Team Zombies. Team Zombies does extremely well in the forest, and ends up winning due to that. As they have Sean, they have Sky, they have Ashley, who is able to take down the animals that are trying to get them. They have Brick. They have Isabel's friggin' god powers or whatever. And so they have honestly just dominated this challenge, which means that Team Vampires and Team Pinhead had to get rid of someone. Sanders is eliminated from Team Vampires, as Sanders gets on everybody's nerves with how she's trying to police the rest of the team, which would seem a little bit out of character for her, but we've seen what it's like when it's not Sanders. She really likes to stick by the rules. And then we also have Tom eliminated, as Tom tries to save Jake, which ends up slowing down Team Pinhead, thus getting him eliminated. Next, we moved up to Finders Creepers, which I need to look up. Okay, just making sure. So, Finders Creepers takes place with all of the mutant scary animals such as the tree and the actual giant spider. Chris wasn't lying. This one is real. Or is it? That's for you to decide at the end of the episode. Which one do you think it should be? Write down in the comments. Do you want it to be something that could actually kill our campers? Or do you want it to be something that could also probably kill our campers, now that I think about it? Well, we'll see either way. I have actually messed up. These two are Finders Creepers eliminations. The same things happened, I just wrote it wrong. Moon Madness actually has 2 different eliminations, with Team Zombies losing due to Dwayne slowing them down. And Tess also just gets eliminated because fuck her, I guess. But these are the 2 eliminations. The same things happened for Finders Creepers. I'm gonna be real. That was the same plot point. I just read it wrong, and that is completely my bad. I don't edit my videos, which can be a problem sometimes. Anyway, let's move on to a tisket, a tasket. I'm going to blow a casket. Or I'm going to blow a gasket, sorry. So, we start with having to do all the sorts of things with the coffins. It's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a few different things within the challenge. Everybody goes to Transylvania. We have gymnastics that happens as well, which we get to see some cool stuff for that. However, we are slowed down a lot by Amy's complaining, despite her having some cheerleading practice, which could lead her to win the second part of the challenge. She complains too much on the first part of the challenge, thus slowing down her team and causing her elimination. Though Sky is a good gymnast, people like Benji are too uncoordinated. However, everybody really likes Benji, and thus they tried to look for someone else to vote off. However, Heather did so well in the past couple challenges that they fear voting her off. Time comes, and everybody votes without knowing who they're voting for. Meanwhile, Heather and MK decide to join together along with Bowie in a vote to eliminate one of their strong players, Ashley. Next, we move up to a mine is a terrible thing to waste, where they are stuck in a mine, where they have to place explosives in there and all get out before they become radioactive. Ezekiel appears in the mine and helps them escape. However, he doesn't seem to have as good of a connection with the Gophers as he did before, which makes it a little bit hard for them to get out of there. Team Vampires is held back by a few of their campers, and due to Zoe being a problem in this challenge at the very start, people decide to vote for her out of a bit of a grudge. She also bursts out in anger at them after they start doing badly in the second part of the challenge. She immediately tries to correct herself afterwards because that's what Zoe does, but everybody knows that it's not sincere. The other person to get in trouble is Sky, as Sky ends up trying to leave her team behind when she gets a little bit too scared about her band on her arm. The rest of the team makes it out, though. Next we have IC London, where players are picked off one by one. And as they're slowly picked off, we get to see all sorts of really good scenes between them. All sorts of character dialogue. I'm not even gonna go into it. If you want, you can come up with some things in the comments, but this video is already going to be pretty long in itself. So, you're going to want to come up with some of the stuff for this. Have fun. We got a lot of interesting characters to talk here. But as things slowly get a bit scary, the final people left are Sean, Yule, and Axel. However, Yule gets got next, then Axel, and Sean is the last one left. However, he doesn't end up making it. And Ezekiel is brought back to the group on Team Zombies. Thanks to his help. They then eliminate... Or he's brought back on Team Pinhead. That's not bad. Which means that Yule wins. Yule won originally in my notes. Why am I backtracking on this? Hold on. Why do I have two things written here? Yule ends up winning the challenge somehow for his team. And they receive Ezekiel. However, Team Zombies and Team Vampires have to get rid of someone. They decide to get rid of Anne Maria due to her being incredibly annoying all of this challenge. And not really caring about the other people who started disappearing. Jake started having a serious panic attack, and they wanted to get rid of him as soon as possible. Even Dave was looking at him like, "Excuse me, bruh? What?" We then reached the Sandwich Project, where everyone tries their best to create the perfect Halloween park. Axel comes up with some great ideas. Dave is good at building sets. Cody is good at building sets as well. Scott knows how to make the fake blood Duncan did. So does Gwen. Tristan, as well, helps design some of these sorts of things, which utterly allows them to defeat the others. Which means that the other two must throw someone from the game. Benji screams so much that the screamometer completely goes off and kills itself. It explodes. A few glasses shatter, and thus causing his team to lose, which obviously doesn't give them a real favorable look at him at this time. The other person to be eliminated is Alejandro Buenos. Why is he eliminated, you may be asking? Okay, I'm gonna look at you real quick. Lightning, Lashana, Harold, Joe, Logan, Yule, who's racist against Hispanics. Yeah, he's gonna get eliminated on this team. What are you thinking? Anyway, we moved on to Phobia Factor. I'm gonna go through some fears for each real quick. Sean, we obviously have zombies. Sadie still has some fears about separation anxiety. Tyler's still afraid of chickens. Heather's afraid of being bald again on national TV, so she skips it. Brick is afraid of the dark, Bowie's afraid of... I'm not even gonna get into that. There's gotta be something so stereotypically gay that I don't even feel comfortable about saying it. Bridget is obviously afraid of the woods. MK is afraid of... Wow, that's an interesting music. MK is afraid of specifically... sorry. Bees. She's afraid of bees. And bears. She's afraid of bears too. And Isabel is afraid that people will see her past. Things don't do too well on Team Zombies. Team Vampires ends up conquering their fears one by one. We have the bad hair days. We have the zombie apocalypse. We have their parents. We have sharks. We have being buried alive. We have disarming a bomb under pressure. We have talking to Sky again. We have mimes. I'm going to say that Wayne would... Wait. Wayne's already conquered his fears multiple times, so I don't think I even need to go into it. I think they're just going to come up with something new, and then it's not going to work on him. We have Aiden. I don't remember what his fear is if he said it, and Rhea, fear of, having to deal with her own actions. We obviously have ninjas. I shouldn't go through all these. You can come up with your own headcanons if you want. But Team Pinhead also does not make it, which means that they have to eliminate someone as well. They decide to eliminate Isabel since she gets really aggressive after they ask her to just do the challenge. Topher has some serious fears that have to do a lot with his looks, and he starts aggressively being mean to other people who he doesn't think look good. After that, we move up to Merge with Severe Eggs and Pains. Here is your Merge grouping. How's this looking for you? Okay, just putting them all in there. Still a lot of characters to go through. But this is your Halloween special. Woo! Who do you think will win? It could be anyone. For Severe Eggs and Pains, let me just quickly remember what that one was. Okay. Severe Eggs and Pains, that is the one where they have to go get the egg from the world's most dangerous bird. Scott gets severely attacked by the birds and spotted and then attacked, and so he is out first. Well, actually, hold on. No, that's not true. Tyler's attacked by birds first and completely destroyed. And then Scott is voted out at the elimination ceremony. Most of the other people get their eggs, but some of them don't. Especially people like Cody and Dave and Trent, who are really realistic in a lot of their power scaling. Next we have Hurl and Go Seek. Everybody's forced to drink the chuggy junks. Man, I prepared for this and everything, and I'm still going out. Same night I'm recording this, I'm recording the Total Drama Demented Island episode, so... For Hurl and Go Seek, people go down one by one by one, with people being tagged until Axel is tagged, and the only people left are Sean and Ezekiel. Ezekiel then gets further up the tree than Sean does, and someone grabs his foot, thus pulling him down into a horde of angry campers. The first person who is tagged was Tristan. Tristan was naturally very slow, and the person eliminated was the person who force-fed Lindsay to drink the Chuggy Junks, or the Juggy Chunks? Juggy Chunks? Yeah, Juggy Chunks. Okay. Chuggy Junks. Blah. And so, Aiden is voted out due to being a little bit too competitive. Next we have Nightmare at Tepisca. Tepisca, yeah. Where the people hunting are Carol, Duncan, and Izzy, Ghostface style. The first person who gets got is going to be Trent, preparing for the date with Gwen. Goes the same as in canon for Nightmares to Pisgah, where he gets got. Then we slowly go down the roster. Next is Lindsay. We have Yule, Cody. Then we have Bridget. Brick gives himself up. Logan gives himself up next for another person. Sean gets surprised attacked. Sadie gets attacked next. Then we have Ellie. Then Amelie. Damien. Joe. Bowie. Axel. MK. Dave. Wayne. Harold. Rhea. Lashana. Lightning. And then Heather with when she sacrifices herself for Gwen. Only some of the people start realizing that these are actually campers. Meanwhile, the rest think that this is completely real. Which means that Gwen wins the challenge and immunity. They all vote out Lightning, because Lightning is going to be a problem further on, and he wasn't exactly, let's say, a team player in this sort of challenge. Man, I feel like my little video essays like this have been a little bit worse. Naturally, these aren't really a video essay, they're more of my way, but I think with the amount of writing I do, usually it's closer. Don't open campers inside involves zombies. And as we go along, the first person then is Lindsay. And Yule's like, hell no, I'm out of here. Runs out and gets attacked by zombies. Then here's the order after that. Gwen. Heather. Bridget, Logan. Amelie gets shot. Then Bowie gets shot. MK gets got by zombies. Ellie gets got by zombies. Sadie gets got by zombies. Sean gets got by zombies. Joe gets shot. Axel gets got by zombies. Dave gets got by zombies. Wayne then gets got by zombies. Harold sacrifices himself for the others and gets got by zombies. Hold on. I was wrong. The first person actually to die is technically Yule. Meanwhile, Lindsay does turn into a zombie after him, which causes Yule to be our first elimination here. He gets mauled to death, by the way, which is, you know, I think pretty cool for Yule. Rhea pushes the others into the horde, with Cody going, Lashana going, Damien, and finally Ezekiel being locked outside with the zombies, which causes Rhea to win the challenge. Not being able to get rid of Rhea, they take out the next most selfish person there, who happened to be, in this circumstance, Joe. Next we have Lights Out. Hold on. Lights Out takes place with everybody having their own little thingy here. They all have they each either have batteries or flashlights. If you know Disventure Camp, that is essentially what this is supposed to be. Each camper either has flashlights or batteries in their backpack, and they must find as many people as possible. However, there are also some things in the mines. Some giant scorpions. The first person to be got by the giant scorpion is Amelie, and she's saved immediately after. And as we go down, the final two here are Lashana and Rhea racing for the finish line. Rhea tries to trip Lashana, but Lashana grabs her foot, dragging her back, and throws her back onto the ground. Rhea tries to scramble to get up and run past Lashana, but Lashana wins the challenge. And everybody claps and cheers as Rhea is eliminated. However, during this challenge, Logan gets seriously injured, especially due to Rhea throwing him to the scorpions, which is not shown on camera, but the aftermath is. Zeke and Ye Shall Find. Now that Zeke is an actual player here, the real person we have to deal with in Zeke and Ye Shall Find is Scary Girl. Chris is faked kidnapped. However, the kidnappings of the other campers are very real. Scary Girl picks out the person that she thinks she'll have the most problems with, which is Sean. Now that she has Sean, she feels like she can prey on all the other campers. Each of them gets got one by one until Ezekiel and Bowie are the final two standing. They're able to escape with the fake Chris McLean. And the rest vote out MK. Next we have TikTok on the clock. Now, you might be wondering, why is that in a horror episode? Having to watch that was a freaking horror show. That was... Okay. If you know, you freaking know, dude. Like, if you know, you know. Teams were split up like this. Brick and Ezekiel. Lashana and Axel. Cody and Dave. Bowie and Lindsay. Heather and Harold. Gwen and Ellie. Sadie and Damien. And Bridget and Wayne. The people who finished this entire episode last are Ezekiel and Brick, thus eliminating them here. Demented Ghastly didn't let Ezekiel get 4th place or win or get first boot for once. What? But nope. Team Army of Canada lost. And the person voted out is Ellie for complaining the entire freaking time about how cringe this was. Which the other guys thought, but she didn't have to be annoying about it. Next we have Hook, Line, and Screamer, where everybody's put into places with their fear. Which is very difficult for most of them. The first person hooked is Damien by Heather, thus immediately eliminating him. The others weren't exactly too happy about that, so they decide to get rid of her next, despite her getting very far in the challenge. We've moved up to... Hook, Line, and Screamer. Hold on. What? No. No. I was doing that off the top of my head. Okay, so this was Hook, Line, and Screamer, which Damien... Okay. Damien gets caught first. And Heather is eliminated due to her thinking this was an actual thing. Which is surprising because they had the challenge way back, but this one felt more real when there was a lot of real blood from pigs. They took real pig's blood. Axel, noticing that this was real blood, called it out, and Harold as well agreed, thus causing Heather to have a severe freakout over this. Next we have Off the Hook. First person hooked gets eliminated. Person with the most hooked... The person who is hooked the most times gets eliminated as well. Dave is immediately eliminated. And Sadie keeps on walking out only to get hooked and gets annoyed and then walks back out again and then gets hooked again and is really annoyed each time. However, they didn't know about the person with the most times getting hooked gets eliminated rule beforehand. And the person they vote for is Bridget. Why Bridget, you may be asking? Well, Bridget wasn't exactly the nicest person in this challenge, and was completely dominating, which means that due to her getting 2nd place instead of 1st, they want her out. Next we have Thief in the Night. where we have the killer clown, the guns, and all that sort of stuff. So as you can see here, we have an even amount of campers, which means some get guns, some get bullets, that sort of thing. And so they stick together. Harold and Lashana stick together here. Bowie and Gwen decide to stick together, so we get to see that interaction. We have Axel and Lindsay sticking together, and we have Cody and Wayne. However, Cody gets grabbed first by the creature, and Wayne is unable to save him from being taken back completely, due to Cody still having the bullets in his bag. Lindsay gave the gun to Axel as well. And Axel is able to fend the beast off. However, Lashana and Harold end up making it to the exit, with Harold just barely making it before Lashana. And the person who they decide to vote out is Lindsay. The order of people getting got is Gwen, Wayne, Bowie, Axel, and then Lashana doesn't make it as fast as Harold does. However, Lindsay gets got around here after Wayne. Now that we made to Fright Night. Woo! Spooky. Okay. I need a little bit of a refresher on what happens within Fright Night. They're put in a place where they're put in a library where candles light up and start floating. They avoid the candles. One person is knocked out in the library, which is going to be Lashana. Gwen grabs Harold and takes him away, with remembering that this challenge, according to some of the other ones who talked about this sort of challenge, was real. And Harold did end up watching the season as well and was there to confirm that their reactions seemed completely genuine. Everybody tries to get their keys, that sort of thing. Bowie falls through the floor. Wayne falls through a glass panel. Then we have Axel, Harold, and Gwen left. The doll taunts them. And the person who... the person who wins the challenge, just checking. person who is eliminated here is going to be, or the person who wins this challenge is going to be Harold. And the person who's eliminated here is going to be... I'm sorry, Fright Night. The person who actually gets out first is Wayne. I'm sorry, guys. Wayne actually does get out first. Then it's Lashana, then Bowie, then that sort of thing. Then Axel, with Gwen and Harold being the final three still. Sorry, Wayne fans. Messed up on that one. But hey. The person who is eliminated is Gwen, as they vote for her next. We have a nice grouping with what's mine is mine. In what's mine is mine, people have to try to get through the underground with the ticket to a final challenge, but a deadly sabotage may threaten their life. A cunning contender's sabotage brings another's game to a shocking end. That sort of thing. And each person gets a person from the past to help them out, though they don't get to choose. Lashana gets Ezekiel. Bowie gets Lindsay. Tristan gets Axel, or Axel gets Tristan. Bowie gets Lindsay. Lashana gets Ezekiel. And Harold gets Jake, who remembers how the mine looks, which helps him out quite a bit. However, the first person to get got by the scorpions, which are still there, and also gets buried under a bit of rubble, is Harold. Here, I'm gonna put these guys back here. You guys can remember which Oreo is in later. And then the person who is voted out here is Bowie, leaving us with a final two of Axel versus Lashana for the final reckoning, where each of them try to burst the bubbles of some of the other people here, as there's a lot. And we'll get some good old-fashioned teaming here. I'm gonna put these two in the merge, or I'm gonna put these two in what's mine is mine here, and for the in the merge tab, I'm going to show you who gets what. So, Lashana is going to be in the merge tab here, and here's the characters that she gets. She gets Aiden, Dave, Joe, Logan, Ezekiel, and Sammy. Meanwhile, Axel gets Cody, Tyler, Tom, Dwayne, Alejandro, and Sky. The canon winner is going to be Lashana. Anyway, thank you for watching. And have a very happy, spooky Halloween. May all the ghouls and ghosties come out and get you. Or don't have them get you. Either way is fine with me. So, make sure to go outside, compliment someone's hair, and make the world a little bit better place.